Jeremy Rosenthal joining us, founder of TexasDefenseFirm.com. Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on today.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing very, very well. Yesterday we heard the alleged stabber of the young man at the track meet a couple of weeks ago. He had his bond reduced from $1 million to $250,000. Is that a surprise that happened, or was that something you would have expected as a defense attorney?
It's a bit of a surprise, but something that's certainly within the bounds of reason. I think the judge really took to heart the ages of everybody involved. I think she's privy to a little more evidence than I think the general public is. I know there's been a lot of misinformation out there. He is functionally on house arrest instead of just being in the Collin County Jail. So that part isn't that part. I can see where she's sort of clamping down on him there.
So how does this compare, Jeremy, to a similar crime that someone else has committed? Because I tell you, it was blowing up on social media yesterday when this came down, and people were so shocked. And they said, we're going to come up with a list of all the similar, charges and the related bond. But what do you know of that?
$1 million is not an uncommon bond for a case like this. That part is not a surprise. What I suppose is you're sort of dealing with here is these folks had raised about $450,000 for their defense through a GoFundMe page. When you're paying a bond, you pay about 10% of it, usually to a bail bondsman. So they had the money in the bank to get him out. He was getting out tomorrow, regardless of whether the judge lowered the bond or not. So and this actually, I believe, came up during the hearing. And during the hearing, the lawyer said, look, yeah, we've got this money. We would rather use it for investigators to defend this case, to make sure that we have the right experts to defend it. And I don't know if that's what persuaded the judge, but functionally, I think he was going to get out either way. And the judge says, well, I may as well keep you in the house, protect the public. He's got an ankle monitor on. If he is mowing the neighbor's lawn, the sheriff's office will be at his house in about 40 seconds.
All right. Jeremy Rosenthal, founder of TexasDefenseFirm.com. Jeremy, hang on just a couple of seconds. We have to update traffic and weather on the ones now with Julie DeHardy at 721.
Jeremy Rosenthal, founder of TexasDefenseFirm.com, right here in North Texas. Jeremy, Carmelo Anthony said he did it. He said he stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart. How do you defend that?
There's a handful of issues here. The defense is trying to make a really big push towards self-defense, and I don't know that they're going to get there. In Texas, you can defend yourself, but it fits into two very broad categories. If I feel like I'm going to be injured, I'm allowed to use what is called force. If somebody is using deadly force against me, where I fear serious bodily injury or death, I can use deadly force. Here, there's a little bit of tension, and I don't know that the Anthony defense is going to be able to show that the fear was severe enough. But there is another bigger issue, which is this first-degree murder or is it manslaughter, which would be recklessly killing another person? I think that is a bigger debate, but fundamentally, that would be an issue between 5 years to 99 years or life, or 2 to 20. But either way, it's not a big dispute that they've got the right guy and that he killed him. But a very, very explosive issues obviously is blown up on social media, and you guys hear plenty of it, I'm sure.
You know, I keep asking the question because if it was in fact a fight, what do kids do when there's a fight going on? The first thing they do is whip out their phones and video it, and I'm just curious if somebody got a video of what actually took place, and if so, is that going to be admissible?
There might be, and yes, it would absolutely be admissible. The police report has been made public, and you can see 20 or 30 potential kids, and you're right. There may very well be some video that somebody uncovers here as this case goes forward. Now, maybe we would have seen it by now, but yeah, you definitely would think that in this day and age, somebody might have gotten a video of it. Then again, sparks were flying between these kids, and maybe this thing just was real fast.
Yeah, it seems like it was.
We don't know.
It seems like it was very fast. I mean, so moving forward, what does this thing look like when it plays out? I mean, we're talking, people have been mentioning we'll need a change of venue, he won't be able to get a fair trial here, and this sort of thing. What do you make of that?
Potentially. So this case is going to go to the grand jury. The DA's office has said they're going to indict this as a first-degree felony. Once that happens, we'll see if the venue changes. We've got pretty deep jury pools in the metroplex, and it's a function of how many people do you have to go through to get a fair jury, and it may just be easier to put this thing somewhere else. You would have to have a similar venue, maybe somewhere around Austin, maybe somewhere in Houston. Then again, maybe it stays here because we just have a lot of Starbucks customers that watch podcasts about dogs and cats and don't read the news or listen to WBAP.
Okay. That's not you, is it?
No.
All right.
Better
Well,
not
I just
be.
was a little worried there for a second. All right. So this is obviously going to be a big case. How long do you think it'll be before it actually comes to court?
Now that he's on bond, it can stretch out a little bit longer. When somebody's in jail, there's a lot of pressure to get the case tried and tried quickly. You would be looking at 9 months, maybe a year max. Now you're probably pushing to a year plus, maybe. So I would see about this time next year, you might be kind of close to getting this thing tried.
This is a question I've always wanted to ask. Why does it take so long to get something to court?
Well, okay, a court of law is like a court of basketball. There is one court, there are two tables, one judge, and there's 2,000 people that want to play at any given time. Our courts, and this court has family law cases, divorces, lawsuits in front of it. Everybody's got to wait their turn on one hand, and on the other hand, it does take a lot of time to get this right. You have to interview a lot of different people. You have to get the evidence correct. You have to get experts involved. Even in this case, you have to get, if you're the defense, you have to get punishment experts that mitigate, that talk about what's in this kid's future, even if it is in prison. So it does take a little bit of time, but the courts here do a very good job of getting everything through with the resources that they have.
All right. This is Jeremy Rosenthal, founder of TexasDefenseFirm.com. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Have a great morning.